3 years ago, I left my old job to go all in on soccer. And since then, I've worked in 5 countries: Spain, England, Dubai, America, and Canada. I've been a FIFA licensed agent. I've helped build soccer programs and developmental environments. I've coached, scouted, recruited, and worked with players from all different levels across the game. I've also lost a lot, lost players, lost staff, lost money, and lost the first ever match running a club in England 13-0. So I want to share 10 lessons that actually mattered. The ones I would tell myself going back to year 1. Some of them are about football, but most of them are not. Most of them are about people. And if you're 3 years into building anything, a team, a business, a career, half of these are going to land hard. These are the 10 lessons that changed how I work. Number 1, most of what you're worrying about won't matter in 6 months. I look back at year 1, the things that kept me up at night, the deals I obsessed over, the players I was sure I'd lose if I didn't fix it that week. And almost none of those problems mattered 6 months later. Either they resolved themselves, or they were replaced by bigger things, or I was just wrong about how much they mattered. You waste so much energy on things that won't even survive a season. Number 2, you don't have to be the best player in the room, you just need to be the most likable one. This applies to football, and this applies to every room I've been in. The best player in the room doesn't always get the best opportunities. The most likable one almost always does. And this doesn't just apply to football, this applies to your life as well. You don't have to be the best at anything, you just have to be liked by the people that are willing to help you. And being likable isn't faking it. It's being someone people actually want to work with. Reliable, low ego, and easy to be around. The talent gets you noticed, but the likability gets you brought back. Number 3, the biggest egos belong to the people who have not been truly challenged. Every player or staff member I've worked with who had a massive ego, without exception, was someone who'd been the best at their last level. And then they stepped up, and reality hit. The ones who survived that step adjusted fast, and the ones who didn't doubled down on the ego and disappeared. The ego is the symptom. Being out of your depth and not admitting it is the cause. So I want to take you back to one specific moment. I mentioned it at the start of the video. It was the first game in England this year, first competitive match against a team 5 leagues above us in a cup game. They brought first teamers down and they didn't want to be the team that lost to the new international club. And we lost 13-0. 13-0. So as a staff, we were sat in the changing room after the game and we had a choice. We could either tell them this was a fluke and we'd be fine, or we could be honest about how far we actually were from where we wanted to be. And we chose to be honest. And that was the moment that the season turned. Honest beats comfortable every time. From that game in September till now, multiple players have been placed at Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, and players have been able to go to other countries next year. Lesson number 4 is you can't please everyone. And the sooner you accept that, the faster you move. This is the lesson that took me the longest to learn. For year 1 and most of year 2, I was trying to please every player, every parent, every staff member, every coach that we work with. And the result is that I made worse decisions because I was optimizing for not upsetting people instead of optimizing for the right outcome. The first time I made an unpopular decision and stuck with it, Select Generation got better. The second time, faster. Now, I just expect that any decision worth making is going to upset someone. Lesson number 5, the feedback you give doesn't matter nearly as much as how you deliver it. I had to learn this one through 30 bad conversations. I'd give a piece of feedback that was factually correct. The player or staff member would not act on it, and I'd think that they were the problem. They weren't. My delivery was the problem. Now I think about the person before I think about the message. Some people need it direct. Some need it framed, some need a story, and some need a question. The same piece of information has to be delivered differently, based on who's in front of you. 6, if someone repeats the same mistake twice and nothing changes, that's just who they are. This is the hardest one to act on because you want to believe that people will grow, and some of them do. But if you've given the same feedback twice and you've watched the same mistake repeat, your job isn't to coach them anymore. Your job is to decide whether they're someone who's still figuring it out or whether this is who they actually are. Both are fine answers, but they require different decisions. Lesson number 7, nobody gets let go because of skill. They get let go because of attitude and culture fit. This is the one I'd put on every business I'll ever run. The skill got them in the door, but the behaviour got them shown out. I have never, not once in 3 years, let go of someone for being a bad footballer or a bad employee. Every single time, it was attitude. Skill gets you in the door, and behaviour gets you shown out. Number 8, coaching teaches people how to improve. Culture teaches people how to treat each other. One without the other doesn't work. You can build the best training program in the world, but if the culture is rotten, none of it lands. You can have the warmest, friendliest team, and if the coaching is bad, you still lose every weekend. Most clubs and most companies pick one and ignore the other. The clubs that win do both. Coach for skill, build culture for behavior. They have to be running in parallel. When I think about what kind of operation I want to be running in 10 years, that's the framework. Skill and culture, both equally important all the time. And 9, you're only as good as the people around you. Choose your environment like your career depends on it, because it does. 3 years in, I'd say 90% of what's gone right in my career came from being in environments where everyone in the room was better than me, more disciplined with me and more honest with me than I was myself, 90% of the time. If you're not getting better at what you do, look at the 5 people you spend the most time with. They are the ceiling. Move yourself toward higher ceilings. And lastly, number 10, people respect you for what you do, not what you say. I've watched people talk a brilliant game and then deliver absolutely nothing. Nobody respected them by the end. I've watched quiet people do the work, deliver consistently, and shape every room they walk into without ever needing to talk about it. You can announce who you are, or you can just be it. 3 years in football taught me the lessons aren't about football. They're about how you treat people, how you build teams, and what you actually do when no one's watching. And if you like this video on the YouTube channel now, I'm trying to do a bit more content between travel, vlogs. Now obviously is the off season during the summer, so there's some transfers and some summer activity happening, but I want to get more into content talking to the camera. So if there's any topics that you'd like me to go into, like me to discuss behind the scenes of being an entrepreneur, of working in football, agency, building football clubs, being part of a global agency, put it in the comments below, shoot me a DM, and we'll get to it soon in the next few videos. Thank you so much.